7 walking secrets older people use. Why those who walk like this rarely fall down after 70. If you're over 70 and feel unsteady when walking, or if you've had a close call with falling, this could be why. Meet Sylvia, a 74-year-old former librarian who went from being terrified of walking to her mailbox to confidently strolling through her neighborhood every morning. What changed? She discovered 7 walking secrets that most people never learn. These aren't complicated exercises or expensive equipment. They're simple techniques that can transform how you move and dramatically reduce your risk of falling. In the next few minutes, I'll share exactly what Sylvia learned. And by the end, you'll understand why people who walk like this rarely fall down after 70. The first secret alone will change how you think about every step you take. 3 months ago, Sylvia was holding onto walls, avoiding stairs, and hadn't walked outside alone in over a year. Today she walks 2 miles every morning and hasn't had a single stumble. What happened? She learned these 7 walking secrets from a physical therapist who specializes in fall prevention for seniors. Here's the thing, every year 1 in 4 adults over 65 falls, and falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in older adults. But here's what most people don't know. Falling isn't inevitable. Your body doesn't suddenly forget how to walk just because you're older. The problem is that most of us develop bad walking habits over time, and these habits make us unstable. The good news? With the right techniques, you can walk with confidence at any age. Sylvia proved it, and thousands of others have too. These 7 secrets aren't just about preventing falls. They're about reclaiming your independence and confidence. Have you or someone you know experienced a fall scare? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's dive into the first secret that changed everything for Sylvia. The first secret Sylvia learned completely changed how she thought about walking. It's called the heel-to-toe technique, and it's the foundation of stable walking that most people never learn properly. When Sylvia first met her physical therapist, she was shuffling her feet. A common habit that develops as we age. Shuffling feels safer because your feet stay closer to the ground, but it's actually one of the most dangerous ways to walk. Here's why. When you shuffle, your center of gravity shifts forward, making you more likely to trip over even the smallest obstacles. The heel-to-toe secret works like this. With each step, your heel should touch the ground first. Then your foot should roll forward until your toe pushes off for the next step. Think of it like a rocking motion. Heel down, roll forward, toe off. Sylvia practiced this by imagining she was walking on a tightrope, placing each foot directly in front of the other. At first it felt awkward and slow, but within a week she noticed a dramatic difference in her stability. Here's how to practice it safely. Start by holding onto a counter or wall. Take a step forward, making sure your heel touches first. Feel your weight shift from your heel to the ball of your foot, then push off with your toes. The key is to lift your feet completely off the ground with each step. No shuffling or sliding. Your stride should be comfortable, not too long or too short. A good rule of thumb, your stride length should be about the same as your foot length. Common mistakes to avoid: don't try to take steps that are too big. This can throw off your balance. Don't rush the process. It's better to walk slowly and steadily than to hurry and stumble. And don't forget to breathe naturally while you practice. Many seniors hold their breath when concentrating on their walking, which can make them dizzy. Do you currently pay attention to how your feet land when you walk? Most people don't, but this one change can make a huge difference in your stability. Sylvia told me that within 2 weeks of practicing this technique, she felt like she was walking on solid ground for the first time in years. But the next secret is about something you do with your eyes, and it might be the most important one of all. The second secret Sylvia discovered was about where she looked when walking, and it completely transformed her confidence. Like many seniors, Sylvia had developed the habit of looking down at the ground while walking. This seems logical. You want to see where you're stepping, right? But this habit was actually making her more likely to fall, not less. Here's what Sylvia's physical therapist explained. When you look down while walking, you're disrupting your body's natural balance system. Your inner ear, which controls balance, relies on visual cues from your environment to keep you stable. When you're constantly looking down, you're essentially flying blind from a balance perspective. Plus, looking down shifts your center of gravity forward, making you more likely to stumble. The eye-level horizon trick is simple but powerful. Instead of looking down, keep your eyes focused on a point about 10 to 20 feet ahead of you, roughly at eye level. Imagine there's a string attached to the top of your head, gently pulling you upward. This keeps your head in proper alignment with your spine and allows your balance system to work naturally. Sylvia practiced this by picking a landmark, like a tree or a mailbox, and walking toward it while keeping her eyes focused on that point. At first she was nervous about not watching her feet, but she learned to trust her peripheral vision to detect obstacles. Your peripheral vision is actually much better at detecting movement and changes in terrain than your central vision is. Here's a safe way to practice. Start indoors in a familiar hallway. Pick a point on the wall at eye level and walk toward it, resisting the urge to look down. Your feet know how to walk. They've been doing it for decades. Trust them. If you encounter stairs or uneven surfaces, you can glance down briefly to assess the situation, then return your gaze to eye level. The benefits are immediate: better posture, improved balance, and increased confidence. Sylvia noticed that when she kept her head up, she felt taller and more stable. She also became more aware of her surroundings, which actually made her safer, not more vulnerable. Where do you usually look when walking? If you're like most people, you probably look down more than you realize. Try the eye-level horizon trick for just one day and notice how different you feel. Sylvia said this single change made her feel 10 years younger. The third secret involves your arms in a surprising way, and it's something most people completely ignore. The third secret Sylvia learned was about her arms, and it was a complete revelation. Most seniors don't realize that their arms play a crucial role in balance and stability while walking. When Sylvia first started working with her physical therapist, she was walking with her arms rigid at her sides, barely moving them at all. This is incredibly common. As we age, we tend to tense up and hold our arms tightly, thinking it will help us stay balanced. But the opposite is true. Your arms are natural counterbalances when you walk. Think about it. When your right leg steps forward, your left arm should naturally swing forward too. This cross-pattern movement helps distribute your weight evenly and keeps you stable. When you hold your arms rigidly, you're essentially walking with half your balance system turned off. Sylvia discovered this during a walk in her local park. She was watching younger people walk and noticed how naturally their arms moved, like pendulums swinging freely at their sides. She decided to try it herself, and the difference was immediate. Her walking became smoother, more rhythmic, and much more stable. Here's how to master the pendulum arm swing. Let your arms hang loosely at your sides. As you walk, allow them to swing naturally in opposition to your legs. When your right foot steps forward, your left arm should swing forward naturally. The swing should come from your shoulders, not your elbows. Your arms should move like pendulums, swinging freely without forcing the movement. The key is relaxation. Many seniors tense their shoulders and arms when walking, especially if they're nervous about falling. This tension actually makes you more unstable. Instead, imagine your arms are loose ropes hanging from your shoulders. Let gravity and momentum do the work. Start practicing this at home. Walk down a hallway, consciously relaxing your shoulders and allowing your arms to swing naturally. Don't force the movement, just let it happen. At first you might feel like you're exaggerating the motion, but that's normal. You're retraining your body to move naturally again. The benefits go beyond balance. The pendulum arm swing actually helps propel you forward, making walking less tiring. It also improves circulation in your arms and shoulders, which can help reduce stiffness and pain. Sylvia noticed that her chronic shoulder tension disappeared within a month of practicing this technique. Have you noticed how your arms move when you walk? Most people haven't given it much thought, but this simple change can dramatically improve your stability and confidence. Sylvia said that learning to let her arms swing freely made her feel like she was dancing instead of just walking. But what you do with your core might shock you. It's our fourth secret, and one of the most important. The fourth secret Sylvia learned was about her core muscles, and it was a game changer for her stability. Most people think of core strength as something only young athletes need to worry about, but your core is actually your body's natural stability system. When Sylvia first started working on her walking, she had no idea that her core muscles were supposed to be active while she walked. Like many seniors, she thought of walking as just moving her legs. Your core isn't just your abs, it includes all the muscles around your trunk, from your diaphragm down to your pelvic floor. These muscles work together to create a stable foundation for all your movements. When your core is engaged while walking, you're essentially wearing an internal corset that keeps you upright and balanced. Sylvia's breakthrough came when her physical therapist had her practice walking while gently engaging her core. At first, she wasn't sure what this meant, but she learned a simple technique that changed everything. The method is called gentle core engagement, and it's much easier than you might think. Here's how to do it. Before you start walking, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, gently draw your belly button toward your spine, as if someone is about to playfully poke you in the stomach. You should feel your deep abdominal muscles activate, but you shouldn't be straining or holding your breath. This engagement should feel like about 30% of your maximum effort. Strong enough to feel, but gentle enough to maintain while walking. The key is to maintain this gentle engagement throughout your walk. Don't hold your breath or clench your muscles. Think of it as a gentle hug around your midsection. At first, you might only be able to maintain this for a few steps, but with practice, it becomes second nature. Sylvia practiced this technique by walking short distances in her home, focusing on maintaining that gentle core engagement. She started with just 10 steps at a time, gradually increasing the distance as her core strength improved. Within 3 weeks, she was maintaining core engagement during her entire daily walks. The benefits are remarkable. Improved posture, better balance, reduced back pain, and increased confidence. When your core is engaged, your whole body works more efficiently. You'll find that you can walk longer distances with less fatigue, and you'll feel much more stable on uneven surfaces. The beauty of this technique is that it also strengthens your core muscles over time. Every step becomes a mini core workout, gradually building the strength and endurance you need for better balance. Sylvia noticed that her chronic lower back pain, which had bothered her for years, completely disappeared after a month of practicing this technique. Do you feel your core muscles when walking? Most people don't, but this gentle engagement can make a dramatic difference in your stability and confidence. Sylvia said that learning to walk with her core engaged made her feel like she had a superpower. The fifth secret is about timing, and it's crucial for preventing falls. The fifth secret, Sylvia discovered, was about finding her optimal walking rhythm and pace, and it was crucial for her safety and confidence. Many seniors make the mistake of either walking too fast, which can lead to rushing and stumbling, or too slow, which can actually make balance more difficult. Sylvia had fallen into the trap of walking too slowly, thinking it was safer. But she learned that there's actually an optimal pace for stability. Here's why. Walking too slowly forces you to spend more time balanced on one foot, which is more challenging than maintaining momentum. It's like trying to ride a bicycle very slowly. It's actually harder to balance than riding at a normal speed. The rhythm and pace strategy involves finding your natural walking cadence, the speed at which your body naturally wants to move. For most seniors, this is somewhere between 100 and 120 steps per minute. This might sound technical, but there's an easy way to find your optimal pace. Sylvia learned to use music to establish her rhythm. Her physical therapist introduced her to songs with a steady beat that matched a healthy walking pace. She started with classics like Blue Suede Shoes by Elvis Presley, which has a perfect walking tempo. As she walked, she would hum the song and let her steps naturally match the beat. Here's how to find your optimal pace. Start by walking at whatever speed feels comfortable to you. Then gradually increase your pace slightly until you feel like you're moving with purpose but not rushing. You should be able to maintain this pace for at least 10 minutes without feeling winded or stressed. If you can't carry on a conversation while walking at this pace, you're probably going too fast. The key is consistency. Your steps should be evenly spaced in time, like a metronome. Avoid the common mistake of taking quick, short steps, followed by slower, longer ones. This irregular rhythm can throw off your balance and make you more likely to stumble. Sylvia practiced this by walking the same route every day, focusing on maintaining a steady rhythm. She counted her steps for the first minute of her walk, then tried to maintain that same cadence throughout. Within 2 weeks, this rhythm became natural and automatic. The benefits are significant: better balance, increased confidence, improved cardiovascular health, and reduced fatigue. When you walk at your optimal pace, your body's natural movement patterns work most efficiently. You'll find that you can walk longer distances with less effort, and you'll feel more stable and confident. One important consideration: your optimal pace might be different on different surfaces or in different conditions. It's perfectly fine to slow down on uneven ground or when you're tired. The key is to maintain that steady rhythm, even if you need to adjust your speed. Do you ever feel rushed when walking? Or do you tend to walk very slowly, thinking it's safer? Finding your optimal pace is like finding the sweet spot where walking feels natural and effortless. Sylvia said that once she found her rhythm, walking became enjoyable again, instead of stressful. The sixth secret involves your feet in a way you never considered, and it's all about mindful step placement. The sixth secret Sylvia learned was about mindful step placement, and it transformed her confidence when walking on different surfaces. This isn't about constantly staring at your feet. Remember, we learned to keep our eyes at eye level. Instead, it's about developing an awareness of where and how you place your feet, using all your senses to navigate safely. When Sylvia first started walking outdoors again, she was terrified of uneven sidewalks, curbs, and any surface that wasn't perfectly flat. She had developed a habit of taking tentative, uncertain steps, which actually made her more likely to stumble. The mindful step placement technique taught her to be purposeful and confident with every step. The key is to think of each step as a deliberate choice rather than an automatic action. Before you place your foot down, quickly assess the surface using your peripheral vision and your body's natural sensors. Your feet have thousands of nerve endings that can detect changes in texture, firmness, and angle, but only if you're paying attention. Sylvia learned to practice this technique by walking on different surfaces in her home and yard. She started with carpet, then hardwood floors, then moved to concrete, grass, and gravel. With each surface, she focused on how her feet felt when they made contact and how her body naturally adjusted to maintain balance. Here's how to develop mindful step placement. As you walk, imagine your feet are intelligent sensors gathering information about the ground. When you encounter a change in surface, like stepping from sidewalk to grass, take a moment to feel how your foot responds. Is the surface softer, firmer, sloped? Let your foot adapt naturally to these changes. For uneven surfaces, use a technique called probing. This means placing your foot down gently at first, letting it explore the surface before committing your full weight. If the surface feels unstable or unexpected, you can adjust your step before you're fully committed. This is especially important when stepping off curbs or onto unfamiliar terrain. The mental aspect is crucial. Instead of approaching uneven surfaces with fear, approach them with curiosity. Sylvia learned to think, what is this surface going to feel like, rather than, I hope I don't fall. This shift in mindset made a huge difference in her confidence. Practice this technique by walking on different surfaces deliberately. Try walking on grass, then concrete, then gravel. Notice how each surface requires slight adjustments in your step placement and balance. The more you practice, the more automatic these adjustments become. Safety considerations. If you encounter a surface that seems particularly challenging, like wet pavement or steep slopes, it's perfectly fine to seek an alternative route or ask for assistance. Mindful step placement is about being smart and aware, not about taking unnecessary risks. The benefits go beyond just safety. When you're mindfully placing your steps, you're more present and aware of your environment. Sylvia found that her daily walks became more enjoyable because she was noticing details she had missed before. The texture of different surfaces, the way light played on the sidewalk, the feeling of different terrains under her feet. What surfaces make you most nervous when walking? Learning to navigate different terrains confidently is a skill that improves with practice. Sylvia said that mastering mindful step placement made her feel like she could handle any walking surface. The final secret ties everything together and changes everything. It's about confidence breathing. The seventh and final secret Sylvia learned was the confidence breathing technique, and it was the key that tied all the other secrets together. This technique addresses something that many seniors experience but rarely talk about, the anxiety and fear that can develop around walking, especially after a fall or near fall. When you're afraid of falling, your breathing becomes shallow and tense, which actually makes you more likely to stumble. Sylvia's breakthrough moment came when she realized she was holding her breath every time she encountered a challenging walking situation, stepping off a curb, walking on uneven ground, or navigating through a crowd. This breath-holding was making her dizzy and reducing her ability to think clearly about her movements. The confidence breathing technique is based on a simple principle. When you breathe steadily and deeply, you activate your body's natural relaxation response, which improves balance, coordination, and decision-making. When you hold your breath or breathe shallowly, you trigger your body's stress response, which makes you tense and unsteady. Here's how the technique works. As you walk, coordinate your breathing with your steps. A simple pattern is to inhale for 2 steps, then exhale for 2 steps. This creates a rhythm that supports both your walking and your breathing. The key is to breathe into your diaphragm, not your chest. You should feel your belly rise and fall gently with each breath. Sylvia practiced this technique by walking in place at first, focusing on the breath pattern without worrying about actually going anywhere. She would inhale for 2 counts, exhale for 2 counts, and repeat. Once this became comfortable, she started walking slowly while maintaining the same breathing pattern. The psychological benefits are immediate. When you breathe steadily while walking, you send a message to your brain that you're safe and in control. This reduces the fight or flight response that can make you feel panicked or unsteady. Sylvia noticed that her walking anxiety decreased dramatically once she mastered this technique. For challenging situations, use what's called power breathing. When you encounter a difficult surface or situation, take a deep breath in, engage your core gently, and breathe out slowly as you navigate the challenge. This gives you maximum stability and confidence when you need it most. The technique also helps with endurance. When you breathe efficiently while walking, you can walk longer distances without feeling winded. Your muscles get the oxygen they need to function properly, and you don't waste energy on tension and anxiety. Common mistakes to avoid. Don't force the breathing pattern. It should feel natural and comfortable. Don't hold your breath when you encounter obstacles. This is when you need oxygen most. And don't breathe so deeply that you feel dizzy. Gentle, steady breathing is the goal. Sylvia found that the confidence breathing technique was most helpful when she combined it with positive self-talk. As she breathed steadily, she would mentally repeat phrases like, "I am stable," "I am confident," or "I can handle this." This combination of physical and mental techniques created a powerful foundation for confident walking. Do you hold your breath when walking on difficult surfaces? Most people do, but this simple breathing technique can transform your walking experience. Sylvia said that learning to breathe confidently while walking was like discovering a superpower she didn't know she had. Now let me show you how these 7 secrets changed Sylvia's life completely. 6 months after learning these 7 walking secrets, Sylvia's life is completely transformed. Remember, this is the same woman who was afraid to walk to her mailbox and hadn't been outside alone in over a year. Today she walks 2 miles every morning, volunteers at the local library, and recently took a walking tour during her vacation to San Francisco, something she never thought she'd be able to do again. The changes weren't just physical. Sylvia's confidence has returned, and with it, her independence and joy in life. She no longer plans her day around avoiding walking challenges. Instead, she looks forward to her daily walks as a time for reflection and enjoyment. Her family has noticed the transformation too. She's more social, more adventurous, and more like her old self. The most remarkable thing is that these changes happen gradually and naturally. Sylvia didn't have to buy expensive equipment or join a gym. She simply applied these 7 secrets consistently, and her body remembered how to walk with confidence. Her balance improved, her posture straightened, and her fear of falling disappeared. But here's the most important part. These secrets work for anyone willing to practice them. Age is just a number when it comes to walking confidently. Your body is designed to move, and with the right techniques you can walk with stability and confidence well into your golden years. Sylvia is living proof that it's never too late to reclaim your mobility and independence. If you found these walking secrets helpful, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear this today. Your share could help someone regain their confidence and independence. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 7 secrets you're most excited to try. I read every single comment and love hearing about your progress. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for more life-changing advice for seniors.